Imagine the United States annexing Australia and making it the 51st state. Sounds wild, right? First off, the financial costs would be astronomical. Trillions of dollars just to integrate a resource-rich country with over 26 million people. Then there's the military aspect. Any attempt at annexation would likely lead to conflict, and Australia has a strong defense force and solid alliances, especially with the US through ANZUS. Culturally and politically, merging Australia's parliamentary democracy with the US federal system would take decades, if not longer. And let's not forget, Australians cherish their national identity. The idea of ceding sovereignty would be met with fierce resistance. Legally, it's a no-go. Annexation would violate international law and face global condemnation. So while it's an intriguing thought experiment, the reality is that this scenario is not just impractical, it's utterly unrealistic. The idea of the United States annexing Australia and making it the 51st state is an extreme hypothetical scenario with no basis in reality. Let's examine the logistics, costs, and feasibility of such a proposal. Australia is a massive, resource-rich country with an advanced economy and a population of over 26 million. Integrating it into the US would involve astronomical costs, likely in the trillions of dollars. Expenses would include compensating Australia, restructuring its governmental and legal systems, and addressing economic and social integration. Attempting annexation, especially by force, would lead to significant military conflicts. Australia has a capable defense force and strong alliances, including its strategic ties with the US through ANZUS. This scenario would be globally condemned and could spark international conflict. Australia operates under a parliamentary democracy and has distinct political, cultural, and social systems. Harmonizing these with the US federal system would require decades of effort and substantial investment. Annexation would require Australia's consent, including agreement from its government, approval by its citizens through referenda, and likely treaty changes affecting relationships with other nations, such as the UK and the Commonwealth. The US would also need constitutional amendments to integrate a landmass as large and distinct as Australia. This process could take decades, if not centuries. Australians are proud of their national identity and independence. A proposal to cede sovereignty to the US would face nearly unanimous opposition. Australia is a sovereign nation with a strong economy, independent governance, and a distinct culture. Annexing Australia would not only be impractical, but also illegal under international law. The global community, including allies of both the US and Australia, would strongly oppose such an act. The idea of annexing Australia to the United States is entirely unrealistic. It would require massive financial, political, and diplomatic resources, and would face insurmountable legal and cultural barriers. The concept remains purely speculative and not a realistic scenario.